Hi, my name is Arwa. I'm from Libya and I'm doing a Master's of Public Policy here at the Maxwell School at McGill. So I actually recently graduated. I did a Bachelor in Political Science, Public Administration and International Law at the American University in Beirut, Lebanon. And during that time, I did, my final capstone was a research on the issue of irregular immigration from the Middle East and North Africa into Europe. And so doing that research, getting in touch with the policies that govern the journey of the people, I became really interested and I was thinking about my future plans, and so I stumbled upon the MPP website. I think what stood out from Maxwell, given that my background was mostly in the MENA region, is how in touch it is with global policies and evidence-based policy making. Specifically, I really like the idea of the policy lab. So my undergraduate was pretty immersed into the theory aspect of policy making, but I really wanted to get hands-on in the practical element, coming up with policy recommendations after actually interviewing people, stakeholders in the field, getting their expertise. And after I read a couple of reports from last year, it really made Maxwell stand out much more, how they bring students really in touch with the actual act of policy making. And I think that was the biggest reason and the biggest sell that Maxwell has. Two core courses that I really want to highlight here at the school are the Global Policy Making with Jennifer Welsh. I think specifically it was the last week where we studied pandemic preparedness. And I really like this aspect of working with new issues where there aren't policies out there. And so we as students had to apply real data that's happening in time to the idea of bringing about policies. And then I think the other course that I really enjoyed was the Information and Media Literacy with Dr. Owen, where we studied AI policy, which is cutting edge, new, there isn't much about it out there. And I was so inspired by that course. I actually went and I wrote an article about AI global policies. And this idea of not only tackling old issues where the policies are written and implemented, but thinking about the new topics that are coming up like AI, pandemic preparedness, that the school really sets at the heart of policy making and the contentious issues of how do we go on about that. And I think this idea of thinking about the new emerging issues in the world really made those two courses stand out. My favorite networking opportunity in the school has been the Ottawa trip. We got to see the Prime Minister, we got to see a couple of senators and a couple of members of Parliament. And then also people at the highest level, but at the public service, and just listening to day-to-day work experience, listening to their areas of expertise, connecting with some people. I actually left that trip with one friend who I'm still in touch with. Out of all the trips we've been to, I think that one stands out the most to me. During one of the years in my undergraduate, I led a research team on the issues of gender-based violence in Libya and how there's this causal link between war and gender violence, and how sometimes some aspects of gender violence leads to war, and then when war happens, it exacerbates the symptoms. And at the heart of that issue was the need for targeted policies, especially on the provision of support to the victims. And so we came up with this recommendation of establishing a one-stop shop for females where they can get treated medically, psychologically, and financially. And I think it should be at the top of the policy agenda right now for Libya.